Hey, it's Nichole Kellerman-Worth, CEO of WildlyAlive.com, where we help women get on the same team as their bodies so they can feel and look their best. When a woman realizes how badass her body is, she feels alive and is no longer afraid to create the life she's always wanted. I know this to be true because it's happened to me and thousands of our clients. Welcome to the journey of getting on the same team as your body. Oh my goodness, I cannot tell you how excited I am that I am here with you to speak to you about this brand new podcast, January 2022, kicking it off, and all the things that we have in store for you. The entire intention of this podcast is to help spread the Wildly Alive philosophies all over the world, because we believe that if women could get on the same team as their bodies, this world would look like a pretty incredible place, even more incredible, because I have been there. I have been somebody who has woken up and with every move that I made felt disgusted or annoyed or resentful or frustrated with my body. Like it was never enough. No matter what I did, no matter how it looked, it was never enough. And after many years of struggle and many years of doing many things that I am not so proud of to try to manipulate my body into a certain form, I realized that no matter what I did, I still wasn't happy. No matter how small I was, no matter how big my boobs were or tight my butt was, it was never enough. And it really had me start to question what we're being sold. What's being sold in the world around women and their bodies? Because I was seemingly doing everything right. If you would see a picture of me at that time, you would have thought I had a rockin' body. You probably would have idolized me and thought that I was better and I had my shit together and all the things. But the truth is I was a mess. I looked good from the outside, but I was a mess in the inside. I never really had self-esteem issues growing up as a kid. It wasn't until I started dieting and doing extreme exercise programs that I realized in hindsight that with each one of those programs, it started to destroy my relationship with myself and my body to the point where I was a puddle on the ground. I didn't trust myself at all. I needed a plan. I had to have a plan. God forbid I don't have a plan, or I would just eat my face off and sit on the couch all day. I had no trust with myself at all. And I did really extreme things to try to manipulate my body into its perfect form, quote unquote, perfect form. Things that I am really not proud of, things that were abusive. And if you would see a picture of me, you would think, wow, I wouldn't mind looking like that. But if you could really see what was going on behind the curtain, you didn't want to be me. And so I started to realize this after years and years of chasing. And I was exhausted and I was tired and I just wanted to be happy, just wanted to be satisfied. And that's when I started to really explore and question what we are currently taught around women and our bodies and how we eat and how we move and how we treat ourselves. And that was a long time ago. I have been in this field since 2006. It's kind of crazy to even say. Wildly Alive has been around since 2011. And we're really ready to spread this message in such a big, beautiful way because women deserve it. What we're being sold right now is hurting us in more ways than I think any of us really realize. And when we can see that our body is a living, breathing, feeling thing, just like a plant, and she's always listening to us, and she's always speaking to us, and she's here to guide us. Not only guide us on the best foods to eat and the best ways to move, but also those bigger life questions. She's our best friend She's our soul sister. And I feel like if I can heal my relationship with my body, anyone can, because it was pretty ruptured. It was really bad, really, really bad. And now that I have learned how to listen to her and honor her and respect her and then eventually love her, but it took me a while to get there, which is an important aspect of Wildly Alive, is we're not saying you need to love your body today because you can't get there from where you are probably, but can we just start with respect? Because everything that we're being taught around our bodies is based in shame. Everything is based in shame. And so I'm so thrilled that you're here. I hope that you are going to stick around. I hope that you subscribe or you somehow make Wildly Alive a part of your regular life, because I guarantee that if you jump into these philosophies, there's going to be a part of you that awakens and you're going to have a deep sigh of relief. Like, oh my gosh, this makes so much sense. Yes, there's going to be a part of you, this is your body speaking to you, that is saying, I have been searching for this for so long. I am so happy that I found it. Now, is there going to be parts of your mind that's going to challenge it? Because we have been taught the complete opposite when it comes to our body and movement and exercise? Yes. But the key is that you really start trusting that niggle, that little feeling inside of your body, because that's her speaking to you. That's your intuition. That's who you truly are. And so as you are embracing these philosophies and thinking about them and really trying to integrate them into your life, I want you to just start recognizing that part of you that relaxes a little bit more, because it doesn't have to be so hard. It doesn't have to be a struggle. I wish I had this when I was struggling with my body image and dieting and doing extreme programs all the time. I wish that I had this. I wish that I had this. And know that your mind might fight a little bit, but that's normal, because the only way we're going to create change is if we challenge your belief system, right? But always come back to, how does it feel in your body as we talk about some of these philosophies? We have so much in store for you this year. I'm so excited that you're here. So to tell you a little bit about this month. So Wildly Alive is based on 4 pillars: eating, movement, mindset, and lifestyle. So we explore these 4 topics all throughout the year, every single month. For the month of January, we're exploring movement, because this tends to be one of the most extreme months when it comes to movement. We can really see the contrast of our relationship with exercise from December to January, right? And this start and stop theme. And so this month, we're going to be talking about movement philosophies within Wildly Alive. We're going to be featuring a Wildly Alive sister. This is a woman who just graduated the Wildly Alive Mastery Program, which is our year-long flagship program, where again, we have monthly classes based on the pillar that we are discussing here as well. We're also going to feature a Wildly Alive mentor. This is a woman who graduated Mastery and is now mentoring and helping the Wildly Alive sisters on their journey. And also we'll feature an expert that is right in alignment with these topics to give you a little another perspective, because that's always fun. So I'm so excited to get started and talk to you about this a little bit more, and what I want you to really start thinking about in the movement department. So something that's really stressed in the fitness world is that exercise is just something you do to manipulate the body. And I really want to challenge this for you I want to challenge your belief system around this, because what happens when we are only exercising our bodies to purely manipulate is it creates a start and stop cycle for mostly everyone, or it creates a level of obsession. And that's what happened to me is I didn't exercise much at all growing up as a kid. Never. I hated PE. And I almost failed it multiple times. I could never understand why anybody would want to run around a track. I remember I took track. I don't know what. Maybe somebody told me that they were easy credits, but I I remember doing track, and I could not understand why anybody would sign up for this. Like, I did not understand it. I was not an athletic person growing up at all. I didn't get it. I did not get it at all. And then when I got out of high school, I gained a lot of weight, and that's when my distorted relationship with exercise really started to come into play. Because to me, and to most people, exercise was just purely a manipulation tool. That's it. I exercise to lose weight, to have a smaller body, to manipulate certain parts of my body to look a certain way. And so I became very obsessed, and it was really, really unhealthy. Like, resting was not a thing. It was not okay. I would punish myself with exercise if I ate bad, quote unquote, the night before, or if I went out with my friends. It was a big punishment tool as well. And so when we start to subscribe to this idea that exercise is just purely a manipulation tool, like me, it can lead to obsession, but then it can also lead to this start and stop cycle. Because if any of you listening have done any sort of crazy exercise programs, and you have been able to manipulate your body, what often happens is once you have reached your goal of X amount of pounds or whatever, then typically you stop eventually. It just ends because the goal has been met. So now what? Right? But where my mind would always go, and how it turned into a really unhealthy obsession, is I would meet a goal, and then I would just create another goal. And then I would just create another goal. And then I would just create another goal. It was like literally nothing was ever good enough. Or there is also a group of you listening who has tried to manipulate their body with exercise, and you haven't been successful at that. So it's the start and stop of trying and then stopping because you haven't succeeded. And then you muster up the courage to get another exercise program or do it, sign up with your neighbor or whatever, and try again. And so whichever way you slice it, if to you exercise only means manipulation of the body, you will always end up disappointed. You will always end up unhappy. And so today I want you to really think about a different perspective with exercise. And within Wildly Alive, we actually do not call it exercise. We call it movement, just based off of the movement pillar, because just think about it, right? When you say the term exercise, how does that feel in your body, right? Like, imagine you were at work all day and you get into your car and you see your tennis shoes. You were planning on exercising that day. How does that feel? When you sit down in your car and you look over and you see your tennis shoes in your passenger seat. You're like, oh, I got to exercise. Feels like homework. Feels like, no, I'm tired. Like, it was a stressful day, right? But then imagine, on the flip side, you get into your car and you see your tennis shoes and you're like, oh yeah, I was setting an intention to move my body sometime after work. Movement. There's no hard rules when we say movement. Exercise feels very masculine, right? It feels very rule-like. It feels like if you don't hit a certain, number in terms of time or intensity, that it's not going to count. So playing around with the word movement instead of exercise. Within Wildly Alive Mastery this month, we have a class called Unstoppable, where you actually get like a movement calendar. We call it the movement calendar. And it's one of the more masculine pieces of this class to help set up some structure for you, but then there's some fluidity within it. And when it comes to letting your body guide you on how to move that day. And that's something that as you continue to listen to this month's podcasts, you'll hear more about. But for right now, think about that exercise versus movement and see if you can start calling it movement and how that lands for you and your body. And the other thing I want you to really sit with is your deeper three, as we call them. So these are your deeper three reasons on why you want to be a person who moves for the rest of their life. Why is it important to you? Why is having an able and capable and strong and flexible body, why is that important for you to sustain for the rest of your life? What will that create for you? What experiences will you get to have because of your strong and capable body? Right, for me, my deeper three are strength. I love feeling strong. There's something about being able to pick up the cooler and put it into the truck and have that strength. Or carry my kid around as I'm carting him around on the ski mountain and being able to carry him and not feel like I'm dying. Something about being strong really feels good to my body. I also like the mental clarity that happens when I move my body regularly. I am more sharp when I move my body. My brain seems to just work a little bit quicker, and I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. And also just for being able to age and keep up with my children. I want to be that grandma that can wrestle with their kids a little bit and still take them out on the ski mountain or take them hiking. I want to be able to experience those things. I want to be able to experience hikes. I want to be able to hike to heights that gives me views that I wouldn't be able to experience unless my legs got me there. So those are my deeper three. And when I am feeling like I want to stop moving because I'm feeling a little tired and it's really my mind just kind of getting in the way, or I haven't moved my body consistently for the last few days and I'm starting to fall into a lazy slump, I think about my deeper three. I think about wrestling with my grandkids, which is far away, but still, I think about that. I think about wanting to have the capability to do that. I think about being able to show up for you and for Wildly Alive and feeling sharp and not being all foggy-brained and have all these brain farts, which still happen even if I'm moving my body consistently, and that's okay. And I think about walking up some stairs or getting into a big truck and feeling accomplished that I was able to do that. We used to have this really, really big, huge, I call it the Tonka truck. And it was work to get into. And to be able to get in there without help or assistance, I liked that feeling. And that gets me moving. So I want you to think about that for yourself today. And I want you to ask yourself if that can be enough to keep you moving consistently. And as you listen to this month's podcast, we'll talk about some other philosophies that are really great to build upon this idea. and releasing some of the extreme natures that happen within exercise, and seeing that we can ease in and we can take it slow, and 10 minutes is enough, and that when you show up to move your body for your deeper 3, what happens is you're motivated for life. You're not just motivated until you reach a certain physical outcome. So I'm so excited that you're here. This is going to be amazing. Feel free to listen to any of the other podcasts on the podcast platform. So just open your favorite app, podcasting app, and search Same Team, and you will find us, and all the podcasts have now been released. And if you're watching it here on Facebook or on Instagram or on any sort of social media or YouTube, please be sure to just like it or comment, because that really helps spread our message, which, as you can see, is a lot more nurturing and loving and respectful than what we're being taught right now. And I think we all could use a little bit more of that. And we also have something free going on. We just so happen to be having something free going on. If you're listening to this close to its release date, January 4th through 8th, we're running a free challenge called the Embrace and Reshape Your Body Challenge. This not only is going to talk about movement, but it's actually going to touch on all 4 pillars. So if you're liking this and it's sounding really exciting and you want to really experiment with the Wildly Alive philosophies yourself and see if it's your jam or not, then go to wildlyalive.com/challenge, and we are going to kick off the 4th. It will be available for a limited amount of time, so hopefully you'll be able to jump on that. If you're listening to this at a later time, that's absolutely fine. You could just go to wildlyalive.com, and there's lots of goodies over there for you as well. You can jump into the Wildly Alive Playground. That's a free Facebook group. You can just search Wildly Alive Playground. We'd love to have you there too. There's many ways to connect with us and start digging in if it is feeling good, like something you want to go after, and just dip your toe in. So thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited for you to listen to the rest of this month's podcast and all that we have in store for you for 2022. All right, cheers. And feel free to move on to the next episode, where you will meet Cindy, Wildly Alive Mastery graduate, and she will share with you her favorite Wildly Alive philosophy that helped her go from not exercising at all, stuck in pain with rheumatoid arthritis, to now moving her body consistently 5 times a week. If you aren't already listening to this on your favorite podcasting app, just go on over there, search Same Team or Wildly Alive, and you can listen to that right now.